And I told my mates I'd be coming to live in Xinjiang. They expected me to be riding camels every day to work, living at the top of mountains, and be eating sheep intestines every day. Turns out they were absolutely right. And it's brilliant. So if you want to watch, I don't know, a pale old Brit like me navigate himself hopelessly around Xinjiang, where very few foreigners actually live, I might just be the only European who is here, I have no idea. You're in for a treat. So yeah, here are the things that have shocked me the most living here in Xinjiang. And trust me, I've already lived in Shanghai for 5 years. I thought I'd seen it all. Apparently not. Xinjiang had shocked me quite a bit. So it's quite interesting maybe to see comparisons of the rest of China and Xinjiang. For me, number one has to be the language. I was very shocked at how widespread it is here in Xinjiang. I think the misconception arises from the fact that the schools, they don't teach in Uyghur or Kazakh, they teach in Mandarin. But that's not just a Xinjiang thing, that's a China thing. So in Shanghai, they can't teach in Shanghainese. Like every city almost has their own language, right? So imagine each city, yeah? And nobody can speak like the same language. They're all traveling around, they can't speak to each other. You wouldn't be able to go to universities, you wouldn't be able to do business. It would be chaos. So they were just like, yeah, look, we're going to teach you all in Mandarin. So outside of school, can you learn it? Absolutely, yeah. Okay, so I've been trying to learn the language, so I've been taking classes. I found an Uyghur teacher, and I also went to an Uyghur training centre. Literally everywhere. Like in my home, I've got a TV with loads of Uyghur stations. We have the taxis where they listen to the Uyghur radio. You have bookstores where they have loads of books in the Uyghur language. If you want to learn it, you've got children books, you've got novels. There's a book I found on AI, so you can learn the latest AI and all of this. In the Xinjiang University, they have a major, where you learn the language. Go to places like Wales, for example, in the UK, right? And they're forced to learn a language. They have to do an exam on it. But then hardly anyone speaks the Welsh language because it's not a cultural thing. They don't really see it as a everyday language. They just see it as a classroom one. It's not part of the culture and it's dying. Whereas here, it's part of the culture. People are speaking it. People learn it. They want to. I'm just going to see, can I go up here? I don't know if this is someone's house. Or can I just go through it? Let's see. I don't know where I am actually. I went to a cafe and it was a really kind of old place that I'm in. So I wanted to explore, do a little video. It's quite interesting. People's houses. Oh gosh. I think I couldn't be here. I can hear people. Or maybe I can. I think this is a road. Let's go over here. This is just another road. Awesome. Yeah, the next one. I guess it's kind of topical for what we've just been doing. The roads. That's a bit of a shock. So for example, living in Shanghai, right? 2 places, they're a few kilometers away. It takes you no time to get to them. Whereas here, it might be a few kilometers and it takes forever. I think the road infrastructure in the downtown area, especially of Urumqi, is not too developed and it takes a long time. But I can understand it though, because it's a very old place, okay? And I guess the geography of it as well, the terrain, it's very hilly, it's very difficult to build more roads. And the only way of doing so would be to destroy land and break through a lot of the city, which would damage a lot of the culture. So they do respect it in that way. They don't want to do that. They've preserved it, the downtown part of Urumqi, Xinjiang. So it's annoying, but it's okay. And you can go to the other districts just outside of the downtown, and the roads are much better there. Yeah, so there is a lot of development. There's been a lot of money helping out. The roads are really wide. There's no traffic. But in the downtown, it is very congested. That's where all the shopping malls are. That's where everything is. So you do get a lot of traffic. They do have a metro, which, to be fair, many cities in the world, they don't have. Most in China, they will have metro lines, right? So Urumqi, they do have one, and they do plan to build more. They started building it, they were digging it up, and then suddenly they stopped. I don't know why. Is it a money issue, or maybe they just thought not enough people were using it, because everybody has cars here. So yeah, that's one thing. And because, so the roads, they're very narrow, right? So firstly, you get a lot of traffic, and secondly, there's not really any room for a bike lane. So you see in most cities in China, you have the shared bikes. You can scan it with your phone, you can ride it around, you even have electric bikes. But in Urumqi, they don't have that because there's not enough room, so not many people cycle, which is a bit of a shame. But in other parts of Xinjiang, they do have that. The roads, they're better. Oh God, nearly just slipped there. Right, the next one, which I've only just found out in the last few days, a big surprise, is that in Xinjiang, they have their own medical system. They have their own hospitals, Uyghur hospitals of Uyghur medicine, which dates back, I guess, thousands of years. I really don't know much about it, so I'm going to research it. I'll make a video on it for sure. I'll go to an Uyghur hospital. It's kind of ties to traditional Chinese medicine, from what I understand so far, but it is different. I don't think they have like the yin and the yang energy and that kind of stuff. So I want to see that, because I've heard of some people, they're having chronic problems which they just don't know how to cure with Western medicine, and they come to Xinjiang and it gets fixed, which is amazing. If you've seen in my other videos, I've got a chronic problem in my ear. I've been doing traditional Chinese medicine for that, getting better. But I want to see, maybe I can go to an Uyghur hospital, find out if they can improve it even more, see if I can get it completely fixed. So that'll be an interesting one. Look at that. You got some graffiti. Not swear words, nothing horrible, just mathematics. These in here as well. They're everywhere. They love to do their mathematics here, don't they? Doing their multiplications, their long division. Alright, and the next one I was very surprised about is in Xinjiang, they have their own public holidays, which in other parts of China, they do not get. So many people in other cities in China, they get very jealous of the Xinjiang locals, as they get holidays celebrating Ramadan, the Eid, and I think there's one for Nowruz, which is the New Year. Again, I'm not too sure yet, but I think there's one this month in March, and then another one, I think June or something. It changes every year. I'm very excited to see what kind of events there will be. A lot of places, they'll all be shut then, because everyone will be with their families. So I'm excited to see that, and again, I'll show you the videos of these holidays and how it's done in Xinjiang. The next one, which many people got very mad at me in my last video for, was I said the people in Xinjiang, they cannot speak English, because that was what I got warned about before coming here. People were saying, you're not going to make any friends, they don't speak English, da 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 da. But actually, the people in Xinjiang, their English, I think is better than in Shanghai or Beijing. I don't know. I guess because the Uyghur language, there is kind of similar to English. A lot of words are borrowed. The pronunciation is maybe easier. But I've met a lot of people who are excellent at English here. There are also many English corners, so people, they want to learn. And I've been to shops. I went to get a carpet, and this old lady, maybe in her 60s, she spoke fluent English, just a shop seller. I was like, what? That is ridiculous. Whereas in Shanghai, if you go in shops and restaurants, they don't speak a word of English. Maybe the business people do. But that was one thing I was very surprised about. So actually, very easy to make friends here and live here as a foreigner. And the last one, another huge shock for me, was the heating. Okay, so you can see around me how cold it is around here. So much snow. Goes to as low as minus 30 degrees, I think, in the winter. Absolutely freezing. So you might expect the heating bills to be extortionate, right? Because in the UK, which is not as cold, you'll be paying £1,000, I guess, give or take, on average in the UK. It's gone up and up and up because of what's happening with Russia and Ukraine, right? So they've had to find other energy sources, whereas Xinjiang, I don't think they get it from Russia. They have a lot of energy themselves. There's a bunch of it. So the heating here is very cheap. You pay around £200, £300 per year, and the heating is constantly on. Yeah, whereas in the UK, a lot of my friends, they tell me to save the money, they have to keep the heating off. Even in the winter, they'll be wearing coats indoors, have to wrap up warm, which is ridiculous in a developed country. How are you living like that? Whereas here in Xinjiang, the GDP much lower than in the UK, everyone can afford heating. Everyone is very warm throughout the whole year. And in fact, if you're renting, the landlords, I believe in most cases, maybe all cases, they will pay for it, yeah? It might be a policy here, I don't know. So that is just, wow, amazing. So it is very warm inside any building here because it is so cheap. Right, now, the annoying thing about living in this kind of climate and temperature is your camera battery, it dies so quickly. So I can see my camera is about to die. But anyway, it's the end of the video. We did it just in time. So I'm going to head off home. Hope you enjoyed the video. Of course, many more content to come, living in Xinjiang, what it's like. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.